all sim all the time.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for checking out another SGN video where it's all sim all the time. And hey, Madden has dropped 11 patches already to try to fix the game that they shipped us that, let's be honest, wasn't ready to be shipped. But with that being said, it's made a lot of changes to gameplay that have made my last slider set just not that good anymore, and changes were required to keep up with all these patches. And so, hey, after 11, I felt like I might not have to drop a new video because I have so many changes from the last set that I dropped that it's not even close to the same, and people are gonna, lose interest with playing with that set and not have fun. So I wanted to do another video to update you guys with what I'm currently rocking. I'm having a fun time playing with it, and the game is playing a lot better in my opinion. Real quick, if you are new to the channel, please click that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Takes no time, and it'll help you stay up to date on any other Madden content that I do drop or sliders in the future, especially when PS5 drops on November 12th, which I do have on pre-order, so I'll be all over that, and I'll be putting out content right away. So anyways, yeah, let's dive into the sliders. Alright, diving into the settings here in the main menu. First thing we're going to do is make sure that we have NFL Live playbooks off because it does mess with CPU play calling. We're going to put that skill difficulty to all Madden. Quarter length, I prefer 10 minutes Excel clock off, but this is user preference. Of course, make sure you have your gameplay helpers all turned off. Switch assist is a user preference thing. I personally like mine on. You can have it on or off, doesn't matter. And of course, make sure your injuries are 25, fatigue is 0, and player speed's parity scale is at 40. Next, we're going to head into penalties, and this one's pretty easy. You're going to max out all the ones that you can adjust and leave everything on except for ineligible receiver downfield. We're going to turn this off in the main menu. This is the only place you can turn it on or off, so this is where it needs to be turned off. Alright, going into player skill, if you're familiar with my sliders in the past, you know that I like to zero everything out from the player side of things, especially when you're on all Madden. Now, this does not mean you touch special teams. Those are all going to be left at 50, but everything else is zeroed out. Pretty easy to do. CPU, it's actually the exact same thing. Again, special teams, you leave it untouched, leave them all at 50, but just, yeah, zero all the main sliders out for both user and the CPU. Going into some visual feedback here, make sure you turn off everything on field off except for pre-snap menu. And this is important because you don't want all this stuff popping up like XP. And the other reason is because I actually have a no catch rule on offense or defense with my slider set. It overtakes the ratings and gives boost to the user, and we do not want that. We just want to let things play out. Don't worry, you will still get interceptions, you'll still make nice catches, but just make sure you do not user catch, and turning off that little button pop up there for when you catch it definitely helps make sure you don't, user catch. And make sure you have zoom camera, by the way. Nobody asked for it, but here's my volume settings just in case you're looking for some interesting settings. I, of course, turn my commentary off as it's been the same as it has the last 5 years. It's stale, it's old. I prefer the PA announcer. But even if you don't want your commentary off, this is a good setup. And throw commentary at like 40, 45, and it'll be a perfect setup for you. Okay, so once you get inside your franchise, we're going to go over and we're going to just go ahead and make sure in team settings that you have the exact same setup as you do in the main menu. Now, if you're a brand new franchise, you don't have to worry about this. It'll import the settings. But if you were using an existing franchise and you're plugging these in, just make sure that these gameplay helpers are set up exactly how you see here on screen, with, of course, the exception of defensive switch assist, as that is whatever you prefer. Now, because you could potentially be using an existing franchise or starting up brand new, either way, you need to make sure you also change difficulty. And of course, you want to do that by going to your league settings inside your franchise and change the skill level here to pro. Everything else, is pretty much standard. You kind of want to leave it all on. But the main thing is we want to make sure that we have the skill level to pro, as that's what this slider set is set on. Now, after you do that, we're going to go ahead and talk about gameplay sliders. But first, quick moment on XP sliders. Highly recommend them. I was waiting for T-Dog to release some. He hasn't yet. So I did just find someone's XP sliders on Operation Sports. I'm not going to show you them because I'm not 100% going to endorse them because I don't trust them like I do T-Dog. But anyway, I do recommend go find some anyway and use them as they're better than anything that's default. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get into the gameplay sliders. Now, I do want to make a quick note on gameplay sliders. This is how I have it set up, but everyone's skill level is different. Everyone's team that they're using is different. So if you're finding one aspect of the game too easy or too challenging, you can adjust these. I recommend increments in 5. If you are struggling running the ball, turn up run blocking. If it's running too easy, raise CPU tackling. Things like that. It's not 100% set in stone as all teams are different and skill levels different. You can do different things to make this more challenging. Speaking of challenging, with special teams, kicking is obviously way too easy on pro. So there is a workaround on how we're going to make kicking more challenging on pro and honestly more fun. And the way we're going to do that is by using the kick meter. We are not going to aim kicks. We're going to strictly use the kick meter. And what we're going to do is to go right, you're going to release, you're going to hit it too early from the accurate zone. And if you want to go left, you're going to go behind it or late on the accurate zone. And so here's an example. I'm not going to touch or aim with the kick meter aim stick. I'm just going to go to my power zone and I'm going to release it before the accurate to go to the right, and I make the kick even though it was initially aimed to the left. When you want to go to the left, same thing. You're just going to go behind or late of the accurate zone, and this will make the ball go to the left. This is how you want to kick field goals in franchise when you're on pro difficulty, as when you aim, it's just way too easy. Now, just to make sure you guys don't think this is too easy, I did throw in a couple clips here that I was trying to get for this segment where I went a little too early and I missed it badly, or I went a little bit too late on being early and it didn't push it to the right far enough. I wanted to show this to you guys just so you know that it's not going to be as easy as it looked in those first 2 clips. There is definitely like a learning curve to it. Anyway, got that out of the way. That makes special teams more fun and challenging as well. Other than that, make sure you got everything set up here that you see. Of course, I will have the sliders to my Operation Sports thread linked in the description. So if you don't want to necessarily have to pause everything in the video to pull them in, you can just click on that link and have everything written out for you over there. Inside here under penalties, make sure intentional grounding is turned off. Make sure roughing the kicker and running into the kicker is turned off and illegal contact off. That's a Matt 10 find. I will give shout out to him. It definitely improved the CPU play. That was his find. I borrowed it and I give credit where credit is due. So make sure you get all of those last 4 turned off. Now, the last part here, again, nobody asked for it. These are not specific to my slider thread, but I will show them to you just in case you're curious, is auto subs. You don't have to use auto subs this year if you don't want to. You can leave them at 60-80 if you want to. You can use someone else's auto sub sliders if you want to. This is what I am currently running, and I just figured I'd go ahead and show you guys in case you were curious. Whatever you do with auto subs, if you make any changes, make sure you hit the options button in the bottom left-hand corner. Otherwise, it will not save. You'll just back out, and it will not tell you that it's going to reset them to 60-80, but that's exactly what's going to happen. So make sure if you make any changes, you accept and continue in the bottom. All right, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the content I posted, and please leave me some feedback in the comment section below if you try these out. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, stay tuned to the next video. Peace.